had a drug addict partner, and you're in a tough economic time.
I can't just pay you to hang out. We got no more work.
That makes you want to fucking quit, doesn't it?
But failing is how you learn. You know, you gotta fail.
Welcome to the roofing business, boy. I only flooded one house in my life. Well, that makes you a virgin, boy. Everybody is in the middle of a collapse. Literally, we're printing trillions of dollars, sending it to Ukraine. Interest rates are the highest they've been in 40 years. People can't buy homes. Literally, the American dream is being stolen from Americans. These big corporations, they're buying up houses. There's things being printed in the media that controls the fucking world. You will be a nation of renters and you will like it. And it's just not right that people are full of like despair. They're hopeless. If you're stagnant, if you're not making the money you need, if you're frustrated that it costs $150,000 or more just to step foot into the American dream, you need to like get your notepad out. This podcast is going to be off the chain. This man has got a business, one business doing 12 million a year, another business doing 5 million a year. He started his business in the middle of an economic collapse. And inside this episode, I want to talk about building in times of recession. And it doesn't matter if you're starting from scratch as a salesperson, scratch as a grunt worker, or scratch as a business owner. This episode is going to break down the tactical way that my friend Marc Devisse has built a business, 5 million Florida roofing and gutters, 12 million Tri-Town construction. He's local here in Southwest Florida. Marc, welcome to the Blue Collar Boardroom. This podcast is a new name, Dirty Jobs, Clean Money.
There we go.
So during the collapse, talk us a little bit about your personal story and when it got dirty.
Sure, yeah. So first of all, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Southwest Florida resident for majority of my life. I've been here 30 plus years. When I graduated from FGCU here, Florida Gulf Coast University, the economy was booming. This is 01, 02. I'm graduated in 04. And when you graduated, you know, everybody went into real estate, mortgages, or construction. I had no construction background. I had a little bit of real estate background through my parents. Didn't really like it. I had gone to USF for a year, and I lived in those apartments where you can rent just the rooms and not be responsible for the whole apartment. So I went into those, and I came to FGCU, and I noticed that they didn't have those here yet. So I called some landowners in the area, and I was like, hey, what do you think about building these? This would be really good here in Southwest Florida. We went through the process. We're a month, 2 months into it, and I'm reading the school newspaper, and they got 2 developments planned to do it. So we kind of scratched that. Our property was a little further from FGCU, so we knew we wouldn't really compete. But the guy's name, Rich Galvano, really loved me. He saw that, you know, the work that I would do, and he recruited me into his system. So we were doing construction and real estate.
What kind of contracting did he have?
He was a general contractor. He did commercial buildings, mostly all commercial. We picked up some maintenance stuff here and there, but it was just mostly commercial buildings. With
commercial building, you really have to know how to help people get approved and know the process. Did you get taught that? So, you know, again, everyone at that time was begging for construction workers and managers. So I'm 22 years old. I'm a project manager on this commercial building. You're getting your hands dirty.
I'm getting my hands dirty. I didn't really know what I was doing, but you know, you need a body there to kind of
Most people wouldn't go to college and think that working with their hands would be a solution. I mean, you pay the money for education, and then you find yourself on a job site.
Yeah, so I'm not saying I swung a lot of hammers, but I was there, you know, making sure everyone was there doing what they were supposed to do. I learned so much just by being there, learning. We were in a construction trailer, being in the same office as, you know, Rich and the people I was able to meet. Just, you know, I'm getting coffee for these guys and just learning so much. And you know, just being a sponge, always the opportunity to learn some. So, you know, the economy started turning around, and Rich was like, hey, Marc, you know, I love you, man, but I can't just pay you to hang out. We got no more work. So I teamed up with a subcontractor of mine. I had gotten my GC license or started the process, and I teamed up with a subcontractor of mine, and we kind of went out on our own doing small jobs, $1,000 jobs, $2,000 jobs.
Now this is after the collapse, before the collapse?
Like right during 2006.
Okay.
You know, so we're in the midst of it, and it's probably not the worst of what's coming, but
2008 was the worst.
Feel it. Yeah. So we started in November 2006. So we're about a year into it. It's not great times. You know, the worst is still coming, but it's still, you know, you can feel.
I think everybody wants to get started in GC work, and they want to do these big, elaborate, beautiful jobs.
Yeah.
And I think a good lesson is take what the good Lord gives you.
I was like that too. You know, I remember calling Coconut Point Mall wasn't even built yet. And I remember calling Coconut Point Mall, the signs on the street saying, hey, are you guys looking for a GC? They could hear it in my voice that I was a young guy. They're like,
but you were never afraid to ask. Closed mouths don't get fed.
Right. So, and I did a lot of that, you know, trying to bid for Collier County stuff. And I'm in a room with all these older guys who are like kind of looking at me like, hey, where's your dad at? Type of thing, you know. But I'd always go into the rooms. I'd always try to figure stuff out. And, you know, at first we're landing $1,000 jobs and we're happy. We're fixing soffits and fascia and just, you know, roof leaks. And then one day I'm at Ale House in Gulf Coast, and I sit next to someone and we strike a conversation and end up closing a $10,000 job. And I'm like, hell yeah, I've made it. Let's go.
Walk me through how you land $10,000 and where you're at. Are you at a bar?
Yeah, we're at a bar.
At a bar. How do you make $10,000 at a bar?
So, hey, how you doing? You know, what do you do? My name's Marc. Yeah, we just started a construction company. This is what you do. Oh, you have a project at home that you're looking to do? What kind of project? Oh, we got a lanai. We want to extend. Let me get your information. We'll come out there. Let me take a look. Let's see what we can do. Come out there, give them a proposal, close the deal, and
$10,000.
$10,000.
Boom.
Just like that. You never know who you're going to talk to. You never know what they're going to need. You know, anywhere you're at, striking up that conversation, being outgoing, getting to know people. Just, you know, people want to know who you are, and, you know, getting to know them or talking to them.
It's one of the good things about Florida too, even if it's an economic collapse. Other places, money does come here.
I think.
Was that a cash deal?
Yeah, for sure. Cash deal. Yeah.
You can still find cash deals in tough recession, can't you?
Agreed. I think that going through that last recession, it's new enough that a lot of people remember. A lot of people have been waiting for this recession. Every year we hear it's coming, it's coming. So people have been hearing that for a long time. They're always going to want to do maintenance, right? So roof leaks or rotted wood, you know, you can't delay that. Associations, that was what's helped us survive. You know, we went to a lot of property managers.
Maintenance agreements for commercial deals.
Right. Condo maintenance is what we termed it at the time. And it was just rotted door. You know, you're not going to do anything with one rotted door, but an association, they got 50 doors that need replaced. So we did a lot of condo maintenance work, rotted, you know, rusted out rebar, rusted out, you know, supports, carports, just anything we could do to kind of survive. Also kept our overhead low as possible. You know, if we didn't go out and buy new offices or buy new trucks, or, you know, at one point we felt confident we did go and get some trucks.
That's another key point, dude. Don't overspend in tough times.
Yeah, you don't need the fancy stuff. Scrappy, you know, yeah, if you need a truck, buy a truck, but buy a basic Ford, small Ford. You don't need it jacked up.
Dude, I got started in multiple, like, late model, single cab, piece of shit, box F-150s.
Roll down windows.
Come on, man.
I mean, just single cab. And that was my personal truck. I traded in my car to buy a basic white Ford F-150, roll down windows, had the logos on it all the time.
It doesn't matter if you have a rich truck or a poor truck. You can use it as a sales advantage. How would you use a busted truck to help you sell?
How would I use a busted truck? Hey, I really need this job. I got a busted ass truck.
That's one way to do it.
No, you know, we don't charge. We don't overcharge. We're, you know, our overhead. We're keeping our overhead low. I'm not wasteful with money. You know, you see what I drive. I'm not overcharging. I can keep my overhead down. My prices are down. our quality of work. Check out our website, our references. You know, I mean, yeah.
I see all these people come up with excuses like, I don't have the right truck, I don't have the right office, I don't have the right equipment, and you know, I got to get all this stuff in perfect to be successful.
There's too many excuses, you know, waiting for the perfect time. You know, I know a lot of people like that. Oh, my website's not up. Oh, you know, my business cards aren't done. So what? There's always something you can do. And limiting beliefs, you know, telling yourself that everything needs to be perfect before you get started. You know, imperfect progress is better than no progress or waiting to start. You know, you kind of go and figure it out as you go. You mess up, you fail, you learn from it. The only failure that I see is if you do something that's not great and you don't learn from it and you do it again and you do it again. That's failure. But failing is how you learn. You know, you gotta fail.
I mean, it's funny, you were talking about college, construction, mortgage, and you talk about learning the job from, what's his name?
Rich.
Where'd you learn more?
Where did I learn more from? You know, I'm a business guy. You know, I love business, sales, marketing. My partner at the time, he was a construction guy. So we were a good mix. He knew the construction expertise, and I knew, and he did not know business at all. And I did not know much about construction. You know, can I go build a house? No, I can't personally build a house. Can I supervise and manage and organize people and know if they're doing it right? Yes, I can do that.
But that guy was key for you to even go into business.
I couldn't have gotten started without.
Did you make him a partner,
like
or did you pay him?
So he was a partner, and we did both get paid. About, I don't know, a couple years into it, there was that opioid crisis, and he really got down.
It happens, man. It's tough.
Yeah,
I've had a few people pass away from that. It's sad.
It was either I buy you out, or we close shop, because I can't, you know, things were going missing. And it was bad.
So you had to draw a line in the sand, and you had to get rid of a partner. That's sometimes the hardest thing to do.
It was really tough. He was a really great guy, and you know, but we wouldn't have gone anywhere if it had kept going.
So you had a drug addict partner, and you're in a tough economic time.
Yeah.
So my guess is you didn't crack $1 million.
I think we were right there, close. I mean, the first year, no, we didn't. You know, I think it took us took me about 2-3 years.
How did you sell $1 million for the first time?
My relationships with people. We landed a few nice jobs, $200,000-$300,000. A buddy of mine from college,
like a home remodel, a single family remodel.
We did, some of those, but some of the bigger jobs were through associations, like garage. I remember we changed out the gaskets on garage doors, and one garage door, you know, that's bullshit. You don't want to do it, but there was like 1,000 garage doors. So we're like, yeah, we'll take that job. And we learned, you know, the first 3 takes a little bit of time to learn, but then you just got guys just continuing to do it. So I think those jobs really helped us out, you know, property managers, and then a few remodels here and there. And then a buddy of mine owned Jimmy John's, or started Jimmy John's, and he gave me a shot at building those out. And he ended up doing like 4. So those were, I don't know, $200,000-$300,000 a piece, and they were quick jobs. So
did you learn anything from their process?
Oh, huge amount.
What'd you learn from their process?
They have a book an inch thick on how to do what their process is and what not to do. Like pictures of people who have screwed up in the past. And if it's off by 1/8 of an inch, if the random pattern is not random enough, they will make you redo it and tear it out. If the tile is off, you know, the height I think was supposed to be 6.6. And if it was 6'5" or 6'7", boom, you're doing it again.
See, and this is an important thing for you to write down, okay? One of the things that's a challenge for some of your sales leaders that are good salespeople, okay? Biggest strength, biggest weakness, right? Is we don't like boundaries, we don't give boundaries. So, meaning, I need to know what's expected of my people that are underneath me, right? But you know what's most important about that book? They showed you what's not tolerated.
Yeah.
That's the biggest place. Our standards are what we tolerate. And so for me over the years, even though I had the standard in my head, it wasn't the standard that was getting executed because I never told the people I wouldn't tolerate it up front and never enforced it throughout the process, because they were always like that kumbaya friend zone where it's this balance of how do I motivate them by being their friends, but at the same time hold them accountable to the standard. And I think showing pictures of fucking unrandom things and things that are done wrong.
Yeah.
I don't know if we do that good enough in our training. You know, I almost want to create content on sales training and do bad videos on what not to do, like biggest common mistakes.
I think that would be huge. You know, I think that everyone knows
what to do,
or what's, you know, theoretically what you're supposed to do, but they it's hard when you stumble or you see someone else stumble, or you know, how to recover from it. So yeah, I think knowing what's good and possible scenarios that wouldn't be good, and they might be slightly different, you know. So yeah, I think that's really good, showing people. I have a problem thinking, you know, people should know what I know, or I not should, but do. And
it's fucking hilarious. It's like we carry around this like idea that we've had this conversation with people, even though all the fucking shit's in our head.
Right. Yeah.
And, oh wait, we didn't talk about this? I find myself doing that.
I agree. I
think a lot of men have that problem.
Yeah.
That's why you need more women in your business.
I do. I agree. Yeah. And it's just like I've gone through so much. I've learned so much. And I sometimes expect other people in my business to know what I know, but they don't. And that's why I'm in the position that I'm in, and you're in your position, because you know, you've learned so much. And I'm getting better at teaching and mentoring my people and showing them what I know, and just the ideas that I have that are good and bad, and discussing them with them. You know, I'm getting better at mentoring my team and building my team, giving them some direction and letting them do their thing. You know, hiring great people, not micromanaging, giving them the tools they need, and kind of backing away. It's been really hard for me to let go. You know, I'm
what's hard for a guy like you, it's good at sales, is not personally get involved with all the sales.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
see that all the time. Ed Milet says the level of education on your team is the level of income level, and it's also going to equal how much time you have, not just how much money you're making, but how much time you have.
Yeah.
And you know, have you ever struggled with trying to go sell all the jobs yourself?
With Tri-Town, for sure, I want to be involved in every sale. I'm just now starting to let go. We have a sales guy. I'm kind of maybe too much in with him.
Well, it's hard because when you're teaching a full remodel or a full build, the margin for error is low.
Yeah.
And you have to have knowledge on a shitload of things. And if you fuck up, it could cost a lot of money.
It could. That's huge. Yeah. And, you know, we only have one sales guy. So theoretically, he is responsible for the success of our company. And if he's not selling, or if he's not selling with high enough margins, it kind of all falls on him. And I'm not ready. I haven't been ready to trust somebody to, you know, if we don't sell for a period of time, now our production is out of work. We got to let guys go. We got to worry about our overhead. So I've been very involved in making sure that we're on the same page, and he's starting to get there, and he's doing a good job. So I'm starting to be able to let go a little bit more. But, you know, with the roofing side, we've got 10 sales guys. So if one guy doesn't show up or doesn't do what he's supposed to do, it's not the end of the world. So I'm less involved there. You know, we only started the roofing company a year plus. And I feel like I'm building a really great team. And I think I've gotten there from the mistakes.
Oh, I've seen your team. You're building a great team. And like a $12 million construction company, $5 million roofing company. It doesn't come $17 million in revenue without real entrepreneur skills. And I think so many guys watching this, you know, they put all their value in their ability as a craftsman. I'm sure you've I've seen your brand. You care about quality work.
Yeah.
Now, has there ever been time in scaling that you haven't been able to deliver the work up to your brand and had to fix things?
Yeah, I'm sure we've made mistakes. I mean, we've definitely, you know, the key is that you go and fix it, and you don't try to charge or say that's not part of your warranty, or you just, even if it is some stupid user error, you go out there and you show face and you fix it and you move on. You know, we I'm sure have had to redo stuff or fix things. It happens, and the key is how you handle that. And if you dodge phone calls and you just don't stand behind your work, that's when it's a problem. Most people are understanding that, oh, here's one. We had a roof tore off in the middle of summer and afternoon rain comes through. Got the whole house, just water pouring buckets inside.
Now you're a roofer, baby.
Yeah.
Welcome to the roofing business, boy. I only flooded one house in my life. Well, that makes you a virgin, boy.
This is the one I remember, though. A really nice house. You know, we ended up having to remodel everything. Yeah, it was a pain. We could have fought it and said it was their fault and whatever. We didn't. We did it right. We ended up getting half the neighborhood of roofs. You know, even though we screwed up.
Sometimes it's your best referral.
Right.
And the biggest thing that's holding a lot of contractors back is they're not going to do the work as good as me. My work's going to scale and it's going to suffer. And so I just can't grow and I can't do this because it's just going to cause me more problems.
Yeah. I get that. I think that's a lack of entrepreneurship. And I don't think you can ever scale and really, you know, become a large company, or not even a large company, just more hands off. I mean, you either want to work with your hands, and that's fine, but you're never going to make $1 million, or you learn how to manage guys like that and show them leadership, pay them well, and you can make $1 million.
All right, so we made it to $1 million. You've had to fire. You had to start your own business when one company fired you. Then you had to fire your business partner. Now you've done $1 million through like odd jobs with condos. Big commercial jobs seem to be this big savior. But being that you basically just opened the roofing company, I'm sure you scaled to $5 million in the general contracting business a long time ago. How'd you go from 1 to 5 in Tri-Town?
Word of mouth, doing good projects. We had business development people going to meet people.
So you built your network.
Yeah,
Who's in your network that gives you jobs?
Realtors, property managers, past customers.
Do you have referral programs? How do you get them to pass you around?
How do you get them to pass me around? We don't have an official referral program. We at one time we were doing this coffee book where you got a remodel, you put before pictures, after pictures, it'd sit on the coffee table, people brag about it. I think people just, when you come into a brand new kitchen, people want to talk about it. Hey, who did this? Who did that?
Yeah.
We also, here's a good one.
So kitchens were was a center.
Remodels. I remember now how we broke into condos. I did a party in one of the condos we just finished, and we got in good with the building manager who was there. We were able to put flyers, free wine and cheese. Come check out what we did.
Oh, nice. Watch us build.
Yeah, we had everybody from the condo come and look at the unit that we did, and we did a great job. And the owner of that condo, she was a designer, so I mean, it looked really good.
And she was promoting her shit too.
She was promoting her stuff, and we did free wine and cheese. Spend $500 on some free wine and cheese. I had business from that event for like 10 years. People would call me they moved condos, they went to another place. Hey, remember I came to your open house event, wine and cheese? I bought this new condo that we need remodeled. Can you come check it out? And that was a huge success. I ended up getting like 15 condos in those buildings, and they're like $200,000-$300,000 a piece.
Now we just did the profit and loss on both companies. We were talking about the margin, and as you scale, it can get tougher. When you were doing $5 million a year, was your construction company more profitable margin wise than?
Yeah, we've gone through just this past year some really big growth with the hurricane. We stepped up our office. We went from I had a 2,000 square foot office warehouse for almost 10 years. We just jumped up to about 15,000 square feet. You know, we had to build it out. So we spent a lot of money on growth. And we just now are kind of stabilizing. Fort Myers Beach has just been hit with a huge hurricane, or Southwest Florida has. We are out on Fort Myers Beach building homes. And then we started to focus. We used to take any job that came in the door. Yay, my kitchen needs to be done, or whatever it was. Yeah, we can do it. We can do it. That took a lot of figuring out. And now we've limited 100K job or more. And it's got to be something like a remodel or a house build. None of these like, hey, I can't find
my
anyone
cabinets.
to do it. Can you do my
floors?
Right. Exactly.
Can you fix my little lanai?
Right. So the lead time on closing those is a lot longer compared to, can you fix my lanai? I'm begging you to come fix my lanai.
Right.
But those take away from your focus of what
they don't make you any money.
And even if you made $5,000 or $10,000 or it was an easy job,
amount of time it took,
the time, the focus away from doing what you're supposed to be
competency.
doing. Yeah, exactly. And it took me a long time to figure that. I kind of credit that for my survival through the rough times, that we would do anything. But looking back, if I would have just focused on roofing or focused on new construction, I might have been a more of an expert in that field. You know,
this brings me to an important point because, like, dude, there's big licks that you can hit in remodeling. Your skills, they allow you to invest in distressed properties, fix them up, sell them for more. You know, I've got 3 remodels I'm doing right now. But the reality is, you know, this roofing thing, you know, like soffit, fascia, gutters, is sometimes easier to scale. And a lot of times I talk to a remodeler, and if you're watching this, you know, and they're like, I don't know if I want to get into this roofing thing. When did you start your roofing?
So we always did roofing through Tri-Town, but no one thought of us as a roofer.
I thought you as a GC, a builder,
right.
remodeler.
And they call us, do you know a roofer? You know?
And you got tired of that.
Right. So I wanted to be known as a roofer. So we came up with Florida Roofing and Gutters. Very easy to understand what we do. But I'm finding it so much easier to scale with the roofing because training people on the sales process for a remodel compared to roofing. I mean, there's 3 main types of roofing, right? In residential, whatever, three main types: metal, shingle, tile. You can train someone in that in 2 weeks. They could be 80% know what's going on. With remodels, there's so many unknowns, and you open up walls. They need help with the design. It's harder to train somebody. The more you offer, the harder it's been to train.
Well, we talked about how to grow your roofing company, and all it needs is more roofing salespeople. But then we didn't even get to scaling your remodeling company. But the biggest challenge is recruit, hire, train.
Yeah.
The fucking remodeling salesperson.
Right.
The guy that can go out there and build the network. Yeah. That can shake all the people's hands and fill your role to create relationships. The guy that can, you know, make sure that there is a coffee book in each person that's built. Maybe call the old customers, ask for referrals. Yeah. You know, the guy, honestly, remodelers think that they can't knock on doors.
Yeah.
Now, you've seen door-to-door in roofing. How would you apply door-to-door to remodeling?
You would have to, I don't know. That'd be difficult. I know window guys do it. Windows are windows. In kitchen guys, if you're just doing a kitchen, that's a different story than doing a whole remodel, right? Are there structural walls? Are you knocking walls out?
What percentage of your clients are investors versus people that live here?
We don't do work for a lot of investors.
Most people are like second home people?
Second home. Yeah, second home, even primary homes, just because we're not rock bottom pricing.
No, investors want
rock
dirt
bottom
cheap
pricing. They don't care if you cut corners, and it's just I can't ethically do that. So we are end
plus there's enough good clients here.
Yeah,
and your business model is to make a profit, not serve an investor.
I'm not trying to do 1,000 jobs with minimal profit. If we can do 50 jobs and make money.
It's kind of the reason why I don't want to do jobs for Grant Cardone anymore.
Right. Yeah, I bet.
I mean, he's a nice guy, sort of, unless you're in a business deal with him.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not all about the bottom line. Yeah, the bottom line's important, but saving my name, relationships, that's more important. And I'm just not for investors, I guess. And shit, what were we talking about?
Dude, it's a good point. I mean, I think a lot of people think these investors are dream clients and that they're fucking people that they should chase down. I know whenever I was idolizing selling Grant, I had this. I went to all of his apartments and I saw how many units he had, and I just fucking, my eyes went like this.
Right. Yeah, it's easy to do. I got 50 houses, but they want to pay rock bottom. They don't care if you're insured. They don't care if you're licensed. They don't care the quality of work. As long as a tenant doesn't complain, they're happy. And it's just, things fall apart real quick. And, the promise of, if you do good and do it cheap on this one, I'll give you another one. Well,
You're going to beat me up on that one too.
Right.
And the people that are cheap are also the ones that beat you up for every fucking dollar.
Yeah.
Like if they're cheap and a hard person to do business with in the beginning, what happens when you go to pick up the check?
Yeah, man. That last check, there's always something to fight for. It's
always.
You got to limit that last check as much as possible and, communicate.
It's one of the biggest lessons I had in roofing is a long time ago, I thought in Texas, there's so many roofers that a lot of people like to say you don't have to put any money down. So I got in this habit because everyone else was doing it.
Right.
Like, oh, I don't want you to be scared. I knocked on your door that I'm going to run off with your check. 0 money down. Yeah. Well, dude, that was just one of the bad habits. But, building jobs without a first check because it's at mortgage. Building job because it's got a supplement hadn't been submitted for it. Building job not invoicing for it. All these things. And then not picking enough money up front, not picking up money on the second check. I constantly was in the rear when it came to my insurance collections. Yeah. And over the years, I've changed it. 50% up front, 75% before we get started on the job. So materials are there. And whether it's 2/3 or 75%, if you get that money before you ever start, you probably have money for your material and labor. And the only money that you're going to lose, that last check, is your profit.
Yeah.
And if you minimize how much power they have over you, then it minimizes how much they can take off your check.
Right. The more money they hold, the more power they have. So I keep 10% at the end. We do 50 down, 40 at dry-in, at inspection, and 10 completion. And we get a little pushback sometimes, but holding 10% over even 25% or 50% at the end, there's a lot of people will play games with that money at the end. And if they're just holding 10%, you can usually get out of it, without too much of them trying to argue or not pick up the phone or whatever it might be.
Yeah. So, started a roofing division and did it in the best possible time. What were the biggest challenges you had opening a roofing division?
Yeah. So I blindly brought on a partner, so-called partner, didn't know him too well, I think I offered 10% of the company, and I assumed,
Is he from Texas?
Yeah.
I think I know the little fucker.
Yeah.
And
he's very good at marketing.
Well, I don't know if it's the same dude, but I could remember he had a big boat with a lot of in
Texas with a lot of ladies
twerkers.
On it. Yeah. Yep.
So
same dude.
Dude.
Great at marketing.
He had a lot of twerkers.
Horrible person.
Typically, the yacht twerkers.
Yeah.
You might be in a nefarious crowd.
Well, I thought.
Ironically, this guy's like friends with Natalie.
Yeah. I bet he great at Facebook marketing. Great at
He never bought my program.
No. Oh yeah. He knew you. He said, "Oh, I've been through all his programs. I know everything about it."
That's what all the people from Texas say. They're not coachable.
That's what.
They act like they know everything because they've watched my YouTuber shit, and he knew people. I mean, he did come to some free events, but he never took it seriously like you. And you came at a lot more successful place in your life.
Yep.
And were a lot more humble as a student. And I mean, you live and you learn. Most of the time, if they're mercenary roofers, they got storm chasing. You gotta really you gotta make them prove it.
Yeah, and I didn't. And he kind of opened my eyes to door knocking. I had never done it. I've only chased storms that were in my backyard. So
he opened your eyes to the opportunity.
Yeah. So, and then he introduced me to a couple of good guys who are still with me.
So he brought value.
Yeah, but it was a painful breakup at the time. Him being on social media.
Did he do anything unethical to leave? Like, did he try to steal jobs or anything?
He did everything you
could think of.
Yeah,
flipping contracts, taking deals.
He had started a Facebook group where he was the moderator, and he grew it pretty well. And he would just bash me on there, and he wouldn't let me respond because he was the moderator. So he was just saying anything he wanted. And people didn't know he was the moderator. And then he'd get these other guys to join in, his cousins or whatever.
He spent more time doing that than he did actually selling jobs.
Yes, totally. And then, I rented a couple places for him.
Dude, that makes you want to fucking quit, doesn't it? Like, it's honestly, hard, does that make you want to because I don't know. You didn't have Bert on the team.
No, Bert. I'll give that guy some credit. He brought Bert. Bert was with me for 2 weeks before the breakup happened, and some other guys were like, "You should get Bert to run this. You should get Bert to run this." I'm like, I just met the guy 2 weeks ago. I'm going away for a week, a planned vacation with my wife that I promised her we're going to. And I'm like, Bert, you think you can handle this? I'm leaving for a week. Here's the keys. You sure you can handle this? Dude did a phenomenal job. I was calling him more just checking up than he was asking questions. Just that's how I knew it was going to work out with him. But I didn't, I'm taking it slower now before bringing people on as a partner. I've made that mistake in the past. And
because what's funny is you went over and above. You helped the guy.
Yeah.
He did help you, got you some started and things. But in the end, when these guys leave, they never say good things about you. Never. It's
all my fault that he, trashed rentals and tried to trash my name. And
hell, Dimitri should interview him.
Right. Yeah.
Dimitri should interview his ass and expose you.
Yeah, sure.
But that's the point. Like, that's what happens to me.
Yeah.
And that's the price of success. I mean, guys, so many people are, worried about, people coming after him, attacking him, saying those things. Like even this group that he controlled. I mean, I'm sure if you were thinking about this before you got started, that's almost like a worst nightmare scenario. The guy's actively destroying your brand. You brought him in to grow your business and he's just fucking destroying you. Like a cancer from within.
Oh, he was saying shit like I cheated on my wife and just making, and my wife started getting upset about it. She's reading it. So understandably, she's upset. And then, anyone who would jump on there to defend me, they would get blocked. They couldn't, so it was like he was controlling the media. And it was tough for a little bit, but ultimately it phased out. I ignored it. He's gone. Who knows what he's doing. Everyone was able to see, I've been here almost 30 years. Some guy who just showed up here.
Well, at that time, he had said he'd got training from me, so it's probably a bad sign.
Yeah,
that I was associated with that guy.
Well, yeah, he kept saying, "Oh, they're gonna hire me at RRCA, and I know guys over there. They're paying them $100,000 just to come in." I'm like, all right, man, go do that. Go do your thing.
He never came.
Yeah, and
I think a lot of those people, we have such a hardcore personal development culture that they are scared to get involved from the get-go.
He would have never lasted here. But he's a good talker, friendly guy, good talker, irresponsible as hell with money. So I think that's how he gets a boatload of people on the boat, and just.
Well, I mean, if that's what you live for, that's what you live for. I mean, if you live for the party, I mean, you're going to deal with the wreckage. But the main thing is it didn't stop you.
Right.
You're only one person away, like Bert.
Yeah.
And he's been, kind of godsend for your business.
Yeah. For Florida Roofing and Gutters, he's a phenomenal asset, friend, person. Just handles, me and him talk a lot. And
a lot of these guys, they want a sales manager. They want a Bert, man. I mean, what's he do and what can he do better?
Well, he started off as a sales manager, and then now he kind of runs the whole company. Not kinda, he runs the whole company. What does he do? He manages. We put him in a position, production manager, sales manager. We find somebody to replace him in that position. He trains them, and then he moves up to the next position or next area that we're
like lacking. A utility player.
Yeah, he's a utility player until we can fill that role, train that role, and then he moves on to the next.
This is an important subject because basically when you're going from 1 million to 5 million, there's a few key positions. You've got whoever's running the team, whoever the boss is. It's the enforcer. You got production management, office admin. You got 5 sales guys. Someone's got to recruit. Yeah. Someone's got to be in the marketing. So what happens is the small business doesn't have enough revenue to pay all these people all the time. Somebody's got to figure out how to wear different hats. Yeah. And you can't teach someone to do a job you don't know how to do. It's not possible.
Right.
You can't draw from an empty well. So, a lot of people look at this and they think they can skip steps. They think, okay, I'm doing what Lee says. I'm delegating everything. But what they are doing is they're just sitting in an office and they don't have a BERT and they don't have a door-to-door heartbeat and they're not going out there and learning it. And what have you done kind of like, because it's a success. I mean, this whole thing has been a success. You got a great margin. You're doing good. What have you done to manage Bert, to hold, to keep him going? What to sell him your vision? What have you done to because a lot of times they say your dream's got to be big enough so that the people in your team's dream fit inside of it. Never miss a chance to sell your vision to your team.
So I think my first hire would be an office manager, a great person who can take the paperwork away from me, who can handle phone calls and just manage the office. As the owner, you're doing everything at first. You got to sell the jobs, you got to produce the jobs. So having someone to take some of that labor burden off of you, for me, was the most important. Next, what are you good at? Are you good at sales? What do you like doing? Is it sales or is it production? Whichever one of those is not what you like doing, hire that person. If you like production, which I do not like production, I always hired a production person first because I could sell the jobs, but then I'd have to go and make sure they were built and sales would suffer. So you have to figure out what you like to do the best and what you're good at and hire the opposite. Then when you have the opposite, you're going out to sell and you got someone you can confidently have build the jobs. That makes things much easier. You know, if you have someone good behind you that's getting the jobs done, selling in confidence is a lot easier because you know the jobs, or you have a great feeling that the jobs are going to get done properly. If the jobs aren't getting done properly, it's hard to sell because if you're an ethical person, because you know, hey, I don't know, this roof might leak, or we've never done a good roof before, or whatever. You know, so having good production creates easier sales. If you're not good at sales or don't like sales and like production, find a good sales guy. Sales guys, you can pay off commission, so you don't even have to pay them out if they don't sell. So that's probably, if you're short on cash, hiring a sales guy, commission-based sales guy. If it's the first sales guy, hey, you're going to be with me when we get big. Hey, we're selling the dream. Hey, you know, if you're a big company, hey, come join our great organization. You know, both have strength and weaknesses, positives and negatives.
I think one of your strengths is that you're able to serve a large group when it comes to construction, whether it's retail roofing, insurance roofing, residential, commercial, or it's remodels or condo, commercial, general construction, or even new construction as a development opportunity. And I would say to you, what makes Tri-Town Construction, Florida Roof and Gutters, like the number one choice for people to learn? Like, obviously you're going to coach them, you're going to mentor them, but why would people like look over a real estate job, look over a solar job, look over a mortgage broker's job, look over a job selling digital marketing to do construction?
You mean to come work for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, you know, cliche as it sounds, culture. I want people to wake up in the morning and say, I can't wait to go to work. You know, you spend half your life, a 30-year life at work. It better be enjoyable. If you hate going to work every day, quit and go find something else. So, you know, we try to have fun at work. People are paid well. I would bet that everyone in my company, it's the most they've ever been paid at any job they've been at. And with that, people are fighting for people are happy to be at work. They don't want to lose their job. So they want to be there and they go above and beyond.
I like it. Fighting for your American dream.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the concept of what this is all about.
I used to always negotiate salaries, try to pay rock bottom, and then people would leave for an extra dollar or leave for whatever, for more money. Now I believe in pay well, but have high expectations and measure those expectations and meet with your team on a week. Every one of my reports I meet with on a weekly basis, undivided attention. We have a scorecard we go over. We have KPIs for each of them. Why'd you hit these? How'd you hit these? Why didn't you? What can I do to support you? What do you need from me? Here's the game plan for next week. What have you accomplished last week? People want to tell you what they accomplished. They want to share their work. This gives them an opportunity to tell the boss, show the boss what they've done. That we started probably a year or two ago, and that's been a huge game changer. I used to think no one wants to meet with the boss, no one wants to do this. Yes, that's not true. They want to meet with the boss. They want to show good employees who want to excel, want to show the boss what they did and what they've done. And if you came up with a plan and it wasn't done, then going 2 or 3 weeks of telling me, no, I didn't do that. No, I didn't do that. People start weaning themselves out pretty quickly. So meeting with your team consistently on consistent basis regularly is huge. Good culture, good pay. People want to feel safe. They need their bills paid. If their bills are paid and they got some spending money and they can save money, there's no reason for them to want to go out and look for something else. And just company events. People need to get along, which is the culture. Everyone's that previous guy I was talking about almost poisoned our Tri-Town and FRG are in the same building, so we're kind of co-employees and co-company.
Almost poisoned both companies.
Almost poisoned both. And I was so blind I didn't see it because I'm getting this lip service from him about how great things are. I'm really not paying attention. I'm not hearing everyone else complain, and I let it go too long. And finally, it was just like, no, we can't have this anymore. And bringing fresh blood in, it's a totally different company now. People get there early. They want to be there. They're looking out for each other's backs. They are helping each other out. It's totally different. And just one bad employee, no matter how much they would produce, how important you think they are, people, including myself, especially myself, we can be replaced very easily. There's tons of people out there. It's not worth being held hostage by someone that you think you can't replace, because you can. It might take a little work, might hurt in the interim, in the short run, but it's worth, don't let things go too long or too far with somebody. Firing has always been hard for me, and I'm sure for a lot of people, but I always let it go too long. I know someone needs to be fired. I know they aren't a fit, and I let it go too long. Every single time it's hurt me for letting it go too long.
Well, that's okay. That's actually a business lesson that's hard for me. Once you have a gut feeling about somebody being in the wrong spot, almost 90% of the time, talking to like key executives from Inc. 500 companies, they say that it's a mistake not to go with your gut feeling and put that person into a new position as soon as you have that spot, especially if they're in a leadership role.
Yeah.
Dude, we've covered a ton of good stuff, but I think we're going to go on to investments from here because, I just bought 3 houses around you: Cape Coral, Leehaight Acres, Port Charlotte, single family opportunity. The multifamily is not penciling like it should, but if you fucking have the balls to risk, right? I'm fixing to do a big deal. Mm-hmm. And, private equity Wall Street, they want roofing companies. I've bought into 3, and I'm looking to create, in this first year, a group of 5 to 10 that goes to market. And then in the next year to 2, a group of 20 to 30, maybe even 40 companies. And I see a path to $1 billion. Mm-hmm. Now, I see myself making $100 million deal, rolling, a lot of money back into my company, but having some capital to play with in the real estate market. Mm-hmm. Development wise, Southwest Florida, what would you do with $20 million?
Yeah, so I'm huge on Fort Myers Beach. You can buy an acre of land on the beach for $15 million. Build a hotel, Fort Myers Beach is prime for development. I have a piece I'm trying to put together.
I saw it.
That's about $15 million.
How much is it?
$15 million.
So what would it cost? Let's talk about that deal. Yeah. What we would build, what it would cost, what we would make, so hypothetically.
I'm having renderings and plan made, but I'm envisioning a beach bar. So this piece of property goes from the beach to the main street. It's the whole block. So on the street side, you have coffee shop or bar or walk-up smoothie place.
How close is it to the old pier?
It's half a mile.
So
it's the edge of downtown.
So it's the south side of it?
South side, yep.
And about a half a mile down the road?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very walkable. to
Right.
like, I don't want to even say walk.
There's tons of traffic there, but
There's
that's
tons of traffic.
sort of run down from the hurricane, sort of that, not run down, but there's an area of opportunity there.
Yeah, it's all from the hurricane. There would never be this opportunity without Hurricane Ian. It's 5 different owners. So, you know, when the time comes, we're gonna be sly about putting offers on these units and or lots and not having one guy hold out. But there's other smaller opportunities. I mean, London Bay just
5 different lots that they joined in for one lot so that it would grow.
It's not joined yet.
Okay.
There's 5 lots, neighboring lots that would account to almost an acre of property that you have to buy individual from each owner, right? So you're making 5 different offers to people.
Right.
Total asking price right now is $15 million. Asking
What
price
would be the
for
construction price on?
depends what you put on there. You know, are you going 5 stories? Are you maximizing everything that you want to maximize? There's really 0 limits. I mean, there's a hotels. You can go as high as the hotels. You know, how many bars? You know, I'm thinking like Miami. They have a nightclub. There's going to need to be some kind of nightlife down there. It is.
Well, Fort Myers downtown's already got a resurgence. They got the Luminary that was built.
Yeah.
I just had an event there. There's tons. I mean, I don't hang out downtown there, but there's a lot of shit popping right there. Soho and all that stuff.
Well, Fort Myers Beach for me, you know, was huge during spring break, and just people love visiting it.
And there's no young beach here.
Margaritaville.
There's no young beach. There's the Naples beach is for old people.
Yeah.
And the freaking Miami people come over here because the beach is nicer.
Right.
But there's still nowhere to party, and there's still nowhere to get food on the beach or nothing.
I know that Fort Myers Beach is just
And for an acre of land down here on the beach, you're talking
on
about
the beach.
You know, 100
Think
million.
about the opportunity that allows, you know, for us to be able to buy an acre on the beach. There's other smaller lots. London Bay just spent $52 million on 10 acres of land.
The thing about buying those properties, you're competing against traditional, like, large money institutions. There's still not any deals on Fort Myers Beach, really, is there?
I think they're coming, but I think they're also the market. People are starting to wake up and see. I've taken people from Naples who've never even driven down there yet, and seen the damage, and it kind of opens up their eyes.
How
of the
fucked up it is.
A year later, it still looks like it was just wrecked, you know. And insurance money is coming in. A lot of people who bought into or have been there 30 years don't have the money to rebuild. They're getting out. You know, it's not going to be old Florida town anymore.
Right.
A lot of people are upset about that, but it is what it is. You know, all those homes are gone. Downtown is gone. It's going to be new Gucci stores and high-end places. Margaritaville is down there. They just opened up. That's a huge money bringer into the area. People are opening up and seeing the opportunity, and it's not often, you know, Southwest Florida is a huge market. We're gonna see a recession maybe, but
that's the major airport. That's the major airport. I mean, and
international airport from RSW.
Plus, there's nowhere to fucking party in, like, Naples.
Not
nothing.
On the beach. No beach bars. You know, there'll be. You know, so for this project that I'm thinking beach bar, street bar, or coffee, everything's elevated. A pool, you know.
What's the construction cost on something like that?
I'm trying to figure that out. I'm getting plans worked up now, but it's going to be at $400 or $500 a foot, depending on interior living space. So do you have mixed use? You have nightly rentals, so you can do a hotel, you can do condos, you can do. You know, I want to Margaritaville's pool is right on the beach. They're going to crush it. I want to have a pool, similar thing. Maybe it's a little less expensive than $15 drinks. You know, I'm really thinking Fontainebleau in Miami. They have a beautiful pool. It's right on the beach, packed all the time. You know, they have condos where you can rent or hotels. It's not going to be that size, that large, but on a Fort Myers Beach scale, you know, having food on the beach, having chairs on the beach. I mean, it just
let's scale our companies together.
Yes.
Get 100 million.
Let's do it.
And fucking build a goddamn money making motherfucker.
I think it takes close to 100 million to put that project together with the land, with the construction. but I'm very ready, and I'm reaching out to see, partners.
Dude, I love that shit. Risk is a down payment for success.
Yeah.
And the fact that kind of risk drives you makes me really excited about working together with you in the future, man. How can these guys get in touch with you? How can they connect with you on social media?
Yeah, just Marc Devisse. On all my social media is Marc Devisse. Website, marcdevisse.com. Tri-Town Construction. If you Google my name, I come up, and you can track me down. Very active on Facebook, so DM me. Guys,
we covered tons of fucking great topics. How to start a roofing division, how to excel and grow a fucking 8-figure business in recession and collapse. How, really you don't need like really extravagant sales and marketing systems to do it. You just got to have grit. You got to have willingness. You got to have a growth mindset, and you can't get trapped in the grunt work. And Marc here, he's coachable. He's been in all the coaching calls, even though he's got a damn near set $20 million business. He's making millions of dollars in profit. He's still showing up to learn. I think, guys, most of y'all watching this, if you had Marc's level of success, you may not be that coachable. It's very rare to find somebody at your level that still is hungry to learn. And that's why I'm honored to have you in the group, and want everybody to collaborate to dominate with Marc. So appreciate you, buddy. And let's make it happen.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks for having me.
You got it.